Kristin, we all know Dickens, whether it's through the novels themselves, the screen adaptations, or just being on the back of the £10 note. But few of us will probably know about his private life. What intrigued you about Abby Morgan's screenplay?
Well, to tell you the truth, I really wanted to work with Rafe on a film because I think he's a very clever film director. And having seen Coriolanus, I just thought, he's got such talent. I want to be part of something that he does. So when he asked me to do that, I didn't know anything about Charles Dickens's love affairs, and discovered this story reading the screenplay, and then Claire Tomlin wrote a wonderful book called The Invisible Woman, and that was used as our sort of reference base.
And who is your character, Mrs. Ternan? Where is she in her life?
Well, Mrs. Ternan is a very famous actress and mother of 3 daughters. Her husband is in an asylum, and so she has to pay for his stay there. So they have terrible money problems. 2 of her daughters are successful actresses, and the third one, isn't such a great actress, and she doesn't really know what to do with her. Very worrying. And because at that time the status of actresses was very different from it is now. There was no sort of, it wasn't at all glamorous, and it was very close to, regarded by many as very close to being a sort of prostitute. So it certainly wasn't easy. And the conditions that they worked in were really appalling, and constantly being on the road, having to walk everywhere because there's no money for, no first-class travel or anything like that. So when this opportunity arises, when Charles Dickens manifests an interest in her daughter, she sees that as a sort of safety route out of abject poverty and God knows what.
And what about performing on stage? How different was that for actors back then, the kind of acting style compared with now?
Well, I think it wasn't naturalistic the way we try and be now, because of there wasn't film, so you're going for maximum effect rather than what is truthful.
And tell us about Felicity Jones, who plays your daughter in the film.
What would you like me to tell you? I think she's quite marvellous. She's a very clever, very intuitive actress, and I hope she goes where she should go.
And when you were talking about Only God Forgives, you talked about the costume as a kind of armour. I wondered how you felt in Michael O'Connor's costumes for The Invisible Woman.
Well, Michael O'Connor's costumes for The Invisible Woman are an armour, because they are literally impossible to sort of penetrate, because the corsets are quite hardcore, and the petticoats, you have no idea how heavy those clothes are, because especially my costumes, because the invention of the crinoline was in fact made on purpose because the ladies like these skirts that look like bells, so to get that effect you have to have hundreds and hundreds of sort of yards of material, fabric underneath to hold it all up. But that got so heavy, so they invented these cane hoops that became crinolines, which gives it that sort of slightly airy look, the way they kind of float across the floor. But of course, my character, Mrs. Ternan, wasn't modern enough. He's really cruel, Michael O'Connor. So I wasn't allowed a crinoline. I had to have the full-on 103 petticoats, which was quite difficult.
Kristin Scott Thomas, thanks very much.
It was a pleasure.